Hello and welcome. I just got done reading Doomsday Clock, and number 12, let me specify, I didn't go back and reread the whole series. Although, maybe I should have. Maybe I should have just reread the whole series. I don't know. And I wanted to get this done before I've had too much time to think about it, to give like the honest first impression type deal. My honest first impression is, I waited how long for this? How long? It's been, what, 2.5 years since this started? Hold on. Let me look. Doomsday Clock number one. When did this come out? Day Clock number one release date. Doomsday Clock number one release date 11/22/17. The start of this series basically coincides with me getting back into comics. So now that it's over, does that mean I need to get out of comics? I don't know. I feel like there's a lesson to be learned there. What that lesson is, I'm not entirely sure. So anyway, Doomsday Clock. It's a book. It's got a pretty cool cover. Let's turn it this way so you can rotate your head. I got my window open, so if you hear like the curtain or something moving in that, don't worry about it. It's a perfectly natural, normal, healthy kind of thing. But Doomsday Clock number 12. I like this cover. You got super angry Superman. And you know what? Super Angry Superman, that same panel that they've been showing for forever of him being angry and throwing a punch, it's in here. Where's that at? One more page over. Yeah. Like, it's right here. Now, of course, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just like Dr. Manhattan, the context that we've been seeing this punch thrown in isn't the right context. This kind of takes. Gosh, can I talk about this without spoiling everything? Well, I can talk about some of it. The Gary Frank art. Hold on, let me just flip that open and we'll just look at like something. The Gary Frank art is just nice to look at. Look at this stuff. Everything looks good. Black Adam looks good. Dr. Manhattan looks good. Superman looks good. All the random Soviet heroes look good. All the heroes from Kandak look good. Like everything just looks good. And the writing, the dialogue, it feels pretty right. You have an exact parallel. You have a parallel of the original Watchmen story going on. So I'm going to put something there to hold that down. There we go. You have a parallel of the Watchmen story. The world has been building towards a crisis. It's done that for 11 issues now before this. You had weird investigation stuff. You had Luthor investigating, Lois Lane investigating Luthor. You had the Justice League going to Mars to fight Dr. Manhattan, where he basically jobbed the entire Justice League because, frankly, compared to him, they're chumps. Just like the Justice League versus Superman is a bunch of chumps. You had the new Rorschach trying to warn Bruce Wayne of what was going on, and Bruce shoving him in Arkham Asylum. You had basically everything that could go bad, everything that was a fault with these characters, all their negative pieces were amplified. And that's because John went back in time and he moved the lantern. So then the original Green Lantern never became the Green Lantern, which snowballed. Johnny Thunder never became Johnny Thunder, although I'm only half aware who that character is. The Justice Society never formed. So the world never got used to the idea of having these superpowered beings hanging around. Which means, just like in Watchmen, it's an arms race. You have various governments all putting together their teams of heroes, and it builds to a crisis point, and that crisis point comes here, in this confrontation that I'm showing here. You have the Soviet dudes, you have Black Adam, you have Dr. Manhattan, you have Superman. The crisis, every piece of it that can fire off like a bomb is here. And they all explode. And the resolution, and this is where we're going to start spoiling stuff. I'm really afraid to flip over any more pages because it's just going to spoil stuff for you. So if you want my review, yeah, the review without spoilers. I don't know why I stuttered there. I don't stutter, but hey, you know what? I'm living dangerous. We're living that stutter life right now. So if you want the rest of the review uh, with spoilers, hang on a minute. Good art, good writing. It's a very solid book. It's not Watchmen, but it takes Watchmen and it twists it. And it twists it into the way DC is supposed to be. We'll get into what that means in a second. So if you don't want any spoilers, thanks for watching and all that. I really do appreciate the time you spent with me here. My main complaint about Doomsday Clock is how long it took. Aside from that, it's competently or excellently executed, depending on what part of this book we're looking at. Okay, now, spoilers herein. So, I say it takes the Watchmen story and twists it. And it twists it with the one thing that scares Alan Moore. I'm trying to find just the right place to flip to here. So please bear with me, because obviously, like, flipping open to black panels is not really going to help you. But it takes it. See? There's Doomsday. There it is. It takes it, and it flips it to the one thing that Alan Moore can't handle. Hope. At least in the original story, you can't have hope. Here, because Dr. Manhattan, he's lost his way. He's trying to understand the fundamental nature of not just reality, but the reality that reality is inside, the meta reality. That's what this whole book is about. And he comes to the final conclusion. It's hope. It's the one thing that Alan Moore dares not write in these kind of stories. Because it would have destroyed, if there was hope in the original Watchmen, like real hope, it would have absolutely just destroyed the entire narrative, and it wouldn't have been a very good story. But here, it's the core of this. And in DC, the whole point of this story, and the whole point of all of it, of everything that these characters have been through, is hope. It's Superman. He is the hope. He's the shining example. He's the proof that you can be better than who you are, the inspiration. Dr. Manhattan realizes that. Dr. Manhattan becomes inspired. He receives hope. They phrase it a little differently in here, like he finds a purpose or something. But ultimately, it's hope. He gets that little bit of hope inside of him, and he uses that, and he fixes what he's broken. He fixes more than merely just what he's broken. He does what a hero's supposed to do. So instead of just turning a blind eye to, like, Ozymandias, Dr. Manhattan starts putting things to right. Now, there's some great confrontations in here, and I'm not going to spoil any of that stuff. But if what I just told you makes you go, oh, I don't want to read this, nothing I can do will convince you otherwise. There's some great little bits, and I'm just left wishing that Marionette and Mime, I was hoping I could, like, show them without showing anything else in the book, but it doesn't really look like I can. Yeah, I would have to spoil something I don't want to spoil. I guess I could just, like, cover it up. Like, they get hope. Everyone ends up with hope at the end of the story, except for, like, two people. We're not going to say who they are. But there's some people who definitely get their just desserts by the end of this story. Now, of course, in addition to the big themes, there's the little themes. There's Rorschach and his father, him trying to understand his father, come to terms with it, Batman and Rorschach, Marionette and Mime, Luthor's investigation. Like, there's all this stuff happening, and all those plot points resolve, and it's generally pretty satisfying. I just didn't like the very end of the book. And I'm not going to spoil any of that for you. So Doomsday Clock number 12, probably not worth the wait, but I'm glad I read it. If for nothing else, just flipping through it and looking at Gary Frank's art, it's absolutely delicious. You all have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I sure hope to see you again next time. I think I gotta go. I gotta think about this more, and I gotta reread the other issues to really understand it, kind of experience it more like how it was meant to be seen as a monthly instead of a well, we were monthly, then bi-monthly, then once every 6 monthly. Like it got away from you, DC, and it got away from you. And I don't know if it was Jeff Johns or Gary Frank or some kind of weird DC politicking that prevented it. But I enjoyed the ending. There's a couple of bits in here that could have been left out, totally unnecessary. Uh, but whatever. Writer's gonna write, right? Right. You all take care of yourselves. I think I already said that. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.